It's another Morbid Monday, and today we're going on a little field trip to your favorite stone silent building full of dead people stacked like spooky lasagna. Yes, we're talking mausoleums. You ever walk past one of those massive marble tombs and think, wait a minute, shouldn't this place reek? Because inside those walls are real human bodies, decomposing ones, lots of them. But when you go inside, it's peaceful, quiet, maybe smells faintly like floor wax and regrets. So today we're answering the question, why don't mausoleums stink? And yes, sometimes they do. And when they do, honey, you'll know. So hop aboard the Morbid Magic School Bus. I'm your host, your embalmer, your slightly too excited funeral nerd. Let's crack open some tomb doors, figuratively, and find out what's really going on behind the marble. I hope you like that. Kind of like the school bus thing, so we're rolling with it. Beep, beep. My phone vibrated at the same time. Did you hear that? Weird. Cue the intro. So let's start with the basics. What is a mausoleum? A mausoleum is basically a fancy above-ground structure that stores dead bodies in crypts. Think of it like a condo complex for corpses. Very exclusive, very stone forward. You've got single crypts, family vaults, public walk-in mausoleums, and the kind of private tombs that scream, I'm rich, and still not done showing it. Some are centuries old, some are sleek and modern. You've probably seen famous ones without even realizing it. Marilyn Monroe's crypt in Westwood or Grant's tomb in NYC. Even Abraham Lincoln is laid to rest in a mausoleum in Springfield, Illinois, guarded by marble, iron, and the weight of historical drama. Inside, bodies are usually in caskets, sealed behind stone or concrete fronts. Sometimes there's stained glass, sometimes there's silence, but always there's death. So let's talk about the real reason why you clicked, the stink. Decomposition is basically nature's way of turning your body into soup. And guess what decomposes fastest? Your blood. That's right, the very thing keeping you alive is the first thing to turn on you when you die. Once your blood stops flowing, it settles, thickens, and becomes a petri dish of bacteria. Your organs join in, enzymes break down tissue, bacteria gas up like they just chugged Taco Bell, and that's what causes the classic corpse smell. We're talking putrescine, cadaverine, hydrogen sulfide, methane, basically every bodily scent you don't want in a tiny stone room. Now imagine 100 of those in July. You'd think they'd need a gas mask just to pay your respects, right? But you don't. So what's the deal? Enter the magic of embalming, or as I like to call it, fighting decomposition with chemicals and spite. Embalming removes blood and replaces it with a cocktail of formaldehyde, methanol, and other agents designed to disinfect, preserve, and stiffen the tissue. It basically freezes decay in its tracks for a while. Think of it like pressing pause on rot. It doesn't make a body immortal, it just buys time. And in a mausoleum, time is the difference between dignity and a very squishy disaster. So let's talk engineering. Mausoleums are designed not to stink, literally. Crypts are sealed tight with concrete, marble, or granite. Many caskets inside them have gaskets, like Ziploc bags for the dearly departed. Others go into zinc-lined vaults or metal containers that resist gas and moisture. And here's the kicker. Some mausoleums have ventilation systems and drainage setups. The real ones have what's basically called a death duct, pulling decompositional gases up and out so no one inside smells Great Aunt Mildred doing her final ferment. Casket pressure gets too high, there are even little things called burper valves. Yeah, that's the real term, burper valves, that release gas like a very sad balloon. Still dignified, just hissing slightly. But sometimes things go wrong, and when they do, they really go wrong. If a body wasn't embalmed properly, or the casket seal failed, or gases build up with nowhere to go, you get what's lovingly referred to as a leaker. We're talking purge fluid, dark, stinky liquid seeping out of a crypt wall, sometimes slowly, sometimes not so slowly. Families have reported stains on marble fronts, weird smells, even the sound of a pop when the pressure gets too high. Yes, exploding caskets. It happens, and when it does, there's no candle in the world that'll cover that up. Now let's have some fun before we get too gooey. Let's talk famous mausoleums. I would die to visit Marilyn Monroe's crypt. She's in a pink marble wall crypt at Westwood Village, surrounded by other Hollywood legends and some creeps. Hi, Hef. Ugh. Chris Farley was one of my favorite comedians. He's buried in a mausoleum at Resurrection Cemetery in Madison, Wisconsin. You just know that place has big tornado of chaos energy. And let's not forget Ulysses S. Grant's tomb in New York, Abe Lincoln's grand tomb in Illinois. Lincoln had to be re-embalmed over a dozen times. That man refused to stink. Oh, and international icons, Lenin, Ho Chi Minh, Mao Zedong, they're all on display, embalmed to the gods in government-funded forever naps. And hey, if purge fluid does leak, where does it go? You know, that drainage you see out the front of the mausoleum, the liquid, where does it go? In modern mausoleums, there are drainage channels built behind the crypt fronts. Some slope downward into soil beds or underground absorbent pits. That's a good one. Others use piping that vents out behind the building. Old school crypts, mausoleums, there's no drainage, just seepage. And maybe some poor maintenance worker who got hazard pay and trauma. So when mausoleums work, they're silent, sealed, scent-free, and when they don't, you're nose deep in post-mortem stew. So now you know, why don't mausoleums stink? Because people like me make damn sure that they don't. Between embalming, sealing, venting, and pure structural engineering, we're keeping things quiet, classy, and dry. But let this be a lesson the next time you're in a mausoleum and you smell nothing. Maybe say a little thank you to the funeral directors, embalmers, and vent ducks working overtime. If you like this morbid deep dive, give it a thumbs up. Hit subscribe if you're ready for more death nerdery every Morbid Monday. Morbid Monday, talking death and weird decay. Morbid Monday. And drop your weird questions in the comments, like what happens if you die on a cruise ship? Or what's the deal with caskets that cost more than my car? The Morbid Suggestion Box is always open, and yes, I do read them, probably while eating lunch. You're welcome. Thanks for riding along with me on another Morbid Magic School Bus adventure. Until next time, stay weird, stay curious, and whatever you do, make sure your mausoleum doesn't leak. That would be a bad day. We'll love you. See you next time. Bye-bye. Hi, Hot Mess Express coming in here fast just to let you know that before we wrap this up, yes, I've been getting your emails, your DMs, your carrier pigeons, all about that story. You know, the one where a family received a box from a funeral home and inside the box was their son's brain. Yeah. So for those who want to Google it, this case connects. It's in Marietta, Georgia. And then the guy was transferred to like Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where the funeral home there handed the box over to the family. Now, I don't have the exact answer for why there's a brain in the box because, shocker,